Fifth grade classrooms, I use Voki as well as PowerPoint for their presentations. A few of you have heard of Voki. It is an avatar program where you can edit via microphone with your voice. You can type in your words and sentences, or you can also do it through information from another website. I use this as a way for my students to do their presentations, especially for those who may feel a little bit nervous when they're having to do public speaking. I also like to use this because it helps to ensure that their sentence structure is correct, because they're able to hear what the voice actually sounds like before they actually send it for me to accept or deny their work. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it up on my screen once I log in so you can see on my end. And it's Voki, VOKI.com.
CHA. Go back just a little.
Do you have a pull-out keyboard?
Right there. Right there.
No.
There you go.
I'm just a little bit faster.
Oh.
Okay, and I'm going to go ahead to the Charter's website and show you an example of what I use with my students. I use the Voki on a weekly basis when it comes to their warm-ups. Students are able to find out what it is we're going to work on for the day, and it also gives them the actual warm-up assignment. Charter site. Bookmarked already? Okay, so for myself, I set up my warm-ups with the Voki for the older students. Because it is an avatar, it's not me having to stand there and tell them what it is. They enjoy the fact that it changes. They can change it. This is just an example of myself. Let's say I'm out for a day and have a substitute. I can leave instructions on here. With the current level, they've actually changed the pricing in the past week. But with the current level, I have it for 2 years, and it's $45, which isn't bad because you get up to 90 seconds for the actual Voki to do their audio.
Oh, we can't.
Welcome back, fifth graders. Today you will finalize your Olympics research presentations. Groups that have finished their presentations will begin to work on their individual papers. We will all begin with 10 minutes of typing with keyboarding practice. Please begin typing now.
So that was just a quick example of what I do for their warm-ups, but the students actually get to create their own. I want to get on here and be able to log in properly so that you can see examples. But as the username as a teacher, you're able to approve or deny their Voki, where they would have to go back and edit. The sentence structure is very important. As you heard on there, if I had spelled something wrong, it would sound very funny. And I was going to show you all an example of how, if you spell something wrong, it will not give the correct pronunciation of that word. And so, in a way, it allows students to be able to self-check their work before they present it to you for the final.
Do they have is it free for certain parts?
There are some free versions.
Okay.
I prefer to use the classroom feature. The one that I have is within the classroom because I have generic usernames for my students, so that each one can create their own and edit and make it look a certain way.
Yeah.
You also get more avatar options when you go up to the classroom version.
Okay.
If you do just the regular version, what you would do is actually give students your password. You wouldn't be able to have the actual classroom option for that. Let's see. If there's anything that I'm spelling wrong. I'm not used to a big keyboard. So are there any questions as I'm logging in? Are there any questions? I've used this last year mostly for myself, and then this year was the first year that I actually had my students become interactive with it.
Can you show us something
There
that
we
the
go.
students have done?
That's exactly what I want to do. With the students they're working on now for review, I had one that I wanted to actually have them do again. So I get a page of all the different ones that they're working on. Here's one.
Hi, I am Johnny from your 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia, and I will be your host for tonight in the biathlon. The biathlon is a sport originated in Canada in the 1960s. Right now Austria is in the lead of the medal count in the biathlon. Some fun facts are the rifle weighs about 8 pounds. It is one of the most popular winter sports on European television.
So as you heard on there, when it read European, it didn't read it quite correctly, so most likely they made a spelling error. So what I would do on my end is to go through and deny that so that the student has to go back and edit their actual presentation. And then once all the presentations, you can actually create a deadline for all presentations to be submitted. So after a certain date and time, if it's not submitted during that time, it's considered late. The other way I do it is just the same way that was on here. You can do only approved. And so when it's time for students to do their presentations, I have everyone at the front. We play the different ones. Students then can ask questions. Because this is just audio, you don't get the visuals that you would for PowerPoint. So those students that don't do the PowerPoint for this part, they actually have to answer questions from the students that are in the classroom. So that's what I have right now. For Voki, if you want more information, you can email me. I think it's
Can
great.
they become public so students could use that to study?
You could make it public. They just changed in the past week. I noticed they have something new called Presenter. So whereas now we have PowerPoint, Voki also has something that's similar to PowerPoint called Presenter. Now I haven't upgraded yet to do that and play with it, but I can make them live on my teacher website, on the Google Docs website.
So if a teacher had sublet out different topics within a unit, they could publish all of those to all of the students for studying purposes.
Yes, and that's what happens with this. Students, I'm not used to them. What they see is a link that gives them the instructions of what is to be done once it loads up here. And they only get, because you can do it in class groups, so for my 5th graders, I actually have them in different groups because it's for different quarters and it's not showing right this second. It will give you the actual instructions on a page and you just click on it to edit. So therefore, if you have multiple different grade levels or multiple different subject areas, you can do the parameters, whereas certain students only do research on the United States. Someone else does research on Africa, on Asia, and those students are the only ones who will see that link. And at the end, everyone can preview them once they've been approved, but you can't preview each other's until it's been approved by the teacher.
Cool.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.